Denver voters will decide on two ballot issues, the Right to Survive initiative and the decriminalizing of psilocybin mushrooms, plus the candidate races for Denver's mayor, clerk and recorder, auditor, and all of the city council seats. All of these in the May 2019 municipal election. Hello, I'm Rebecca Jacobson. On this edition of Denver Decides, we'll look at the issues you'll be voting on, including the pros and cons for each one. We'll also look at the candidates running for office and at the voting process. We'll start with the ballot issues. There are two citywide questions on the ballot. These were both citizen-initiated measures, meaning citizens gathered enough signatures on a petition, which were then certified and placed on the ballot. As we go through these issues, it's important to remember a yes vote is a vote to accept the proposal and change in our laws. A no vote means things stay the way they are. Here are the proposals, and with the help of the Voter Information Guide from the Denver Elections Division and the League of Women Voters, some pros and cons to consider. If you haven't gotten your ballot in the mail yet, you can download a sample ballot at denvervotes.org to follow along. You'll find it in the What's on the Ballot section. Going in ballot order, the first issue is Initiated Ordinance 300, the Denver Right to Survive initiative. Initiated Ordinance 300 is a measure that would secure and enforce basic rights for all people within the city and county of Denver. This includes the right to rest and shelter oneself from the elements in a non-obstructive manner in outdoor public spaces. It also includes the right to eat, share, accept, or give free food in any public space where food is not prohibited. Additionally, it includes the right to occupy one's own legally parked motor vehicle or occupy a legally parked motor vehicle belonging to another, with the owner's permission, and to have a right and expectation of privacy and safety of one's person and property. Here are the pros and cons for Initiated Ordinance 300.
Proponents say Ordinance 300 is a critical life-saving step in addressing the crisis of homelessness in Denver. The Right to Survive initiative simply protects basic human rights. Proponents also say these survival acts are allowed only in outdoor public space accessible to the public. For instance, parks after curfew will not be accessible. Areas closed to the public or used by a private permitted event will not be accessible. Sidewalks cannot be made impassable or hazardous, and no one is allowed on private property under this initiative. In addition, those in favor say there is not enough attainable housing for our poorest residents, and shelters are not an option for many homeless people due to lack of space, work schedules, disabilities, and countless other reasons. They say the Denver unauthorized camping ban, which passed City Council in 2012, makes it illegal to use blankets or any form of protection from the elements other than one's clothing. Telling people who must sleep outside that they can't cover themselves to stay warm is cruel and inhumane, causing homeless people to suffer severe sleep deprivation and trauma. Those in favor also say laws against sleeping, sitting, using cover in public do not help homeless people get out of homelessness or connect to services, but rather quite the opposite. For example, enforcement of these laws pushes people further away from services they depend on. Outreach workers have a harder time finding their clients. Homeless people get caught up in the courts and jails with a criminal record, making it even harder to get housing or keep a job. Additionally, they say, roughly 60% of homeless people in Denver work, but do not make enough to pay for housing. The city spends tens of millions of dollars to move homeless people along that could be spent on housing or support. Proponents also say courts have consistently ruled that camping bans, prohibitions on car sleeping, food sharing laws, and seizure of property are a violation of constitutional rights. This proposal will change cruel laws and protect the rights of the homeless.
Opponents say Initiative 300 would allow people to occupy and camp in all outdoor public spaces, including parks, sidewalks, alleyways, bike paths, trails, and open spaces indefinitely. It would end park curfews and prohibit Denver from enforcing other important public safety laws. Most importantly, Initiative 300 fails to provide any support to people experiencing homelessness or address the underlying causes of homelessness. Opponents say it may also impede services for people in need of help. Initiative 300 would make it illegal to harass anyone exercising his or her rights under this law without providing a definition of harassment. The threat of legal action against individuals or organizations could have a chilling effect on firefighters, first responders, and other service providers from assisting people. Those opposed also argue the initiative could increase the risk of an outbreak of communicable diseases like typhus and hepatitis. Such diseases, which are rare in the modern United States, have emerged in other communities where large groups of people are living together in unsanitary environments without basic modern infrastructure, including running water and toilets. They also say it could harm water quality and our environment. Encampments produce human waste and trash that could contaminate our waterways, killing fish and wildlife, and endangering anyone using our bike and trails network along the rivers. And it could significantly limit or prevent Denver parks from holding permitted or ticketed events. If the Parks Department cannot move people who are camping from park facilities, such as the boathouse at City Park, to set up for events like concerts, charity runs, or weddings. Opponents also argue Denver would be the first city in the country to experiment with a law that allows people to camp in city parks and all public areas. And the law takes effect immediately upon passage. There is no roadmap for implementing such a policy and no time for Denver to sort it out. Those opposed also say the measure is ineffective. It is a poorly written, overly broad measure that will have sweeping consequences and lead to expensive litigation without investing any new resources to serve people experiencing homelessness or address the root causes of homelessness. And they say it is unworthy of our city. It will lower the standard of living in our community and do nothing to improve the safety or welfare of people experiencing homelessness in Denver. In addition, they say we want our city to be a welcoming and supportive place for everyone, but that doesn't mean that we should turn Denver's parks, waterways, open spaces, and sidewalks into homeless camps. Allowing people to camp in parks and sleep on sidewalks is unsafe, unhealthy, and inhumane for people experiencing homelessness and the broader community.
Next up is Initiated Ordinance 301, which would decriminalize psilocybin mushrooms. These are also known as magic mushrooms. This ordinance asks if Denver should make the personal use and possession of psilocybin mushrooms by persons 21 years of age and older the city's lowest law enforcement priority. It would prohibit the city from spending resources to impose criminal penalties for the personal use and possession of psilocybin mushrooms by those 21 and over. And it would establish the Psilocybin Mushroom Policy Review Panel to assess and report on the effects of the ordinance. Here are the pros and cons for Initiated Ordinance 301.
Those in favor of Ordinance 301 say there is no evidence of psilocybin being addictive, and there has never been a death from overdose. It shows promise in treatment for dependence on drugs that are addictive and potentially fatal, including nicotine and opioids. They also say there is anecdotal evidence of beneficial effects in non-clinical settings. Proponents also argue problems associated with use are usually mild and temporary. Users experiencing adverse reactions have reported anxiety, fear, and disorientation. These effects typically last for a few hours and are treated by having the user rest quietly. And proponents say criminalization of low-level drug possession is a factor in mass incarceration and can have devastating consequences to the individual that are out of proportion to the seriousness of the offense.
Opponents say psilocybin is a Schedule I drug according to federal law, in the same category as heroin. Opponents also say psilocybin mushrooms will not be available from controlled sources, so there will be concerns about dose and purity. This is a bad idea in a state that's still adjusting to legal cannabis. This ordinance might make Denver a mecca for drug seekers. In addition, those opposed say the therapeutic benefits of psilocybin were shown in carefully controlled clinical settings with subjects carefully screened for psychotic tendencies. This ordinance would make the drug more available to persons without screening. There have also been reports of seizures and hypothermia among children who have ingested mushrooms. Opponents say persons using this drug might have impaired judgment that could lead to behavior that causes injury to themselves or others.
Those are the two issues you'll be voting on this spring.
You can get more information about the city ballot measures through the Voter Information Guide. And this year, the Denver Elections Division is going green. You can access the guide online at denvervotes.org. If you prefer to have a paper copy of the Voter Information Guide, you can get one at any Denver library or recreation center.
In addition, you can get information on these issues from the League of Women Voters of Denver. You can get a copy of their ballot issues pros and cons at lwvdenver.org. Also, the Denver Decides partners sponsored a forum for Ordinance 300, the Right to Survive initiative. You can watch the forum on Denver 8 TV or online at denverdecides.org. Now we'll take a look at the candidates. They are listed in ballot order. We'll also tell you how you can get more information about the candidates, either from their websites or we'll give you their contact information.
There are 6 candidates running for Denver mayor. Penfield Tate, tatefordenver.com. Incumbent Michael B. Hancock, hancockfordenver.com. Kaylin Rose Heffernan, kaylinformayor.com. Jamie Gillis, jamiefordenver.com. Stephen Sekou Evans, Chairman Sekou11@gmail.com. And Lisa Calderon, lisafordenvermayor.org.
The candidate for Denver Auditor is Timothy M. O'Brien, who currently holds the seat. He's unopposed in this election. His website is o'brienforauditor.com.
Voters will choose between 3 candidates for Denver Clerk and Recorder. Peg Pearl, pearlfordenver.com. Paul D. Lopez, lopezfordenver.com. And Sarah O. McCarthy, mccarthyfordenverclerk.com.
Residents throughout the city will vote for 2 members for the Denver City Council at-large positions. There are 6 candidates running. Jesse LaShawn Paris, jparis45.wixsite.com/Jesse for Denver. Johnny Hayes, johnnyhayesfordenver.org. Deborah Debbie Ortega, ortegaatlarge.com. Tony Pigford, pigfordfordenver.com. Lynn Langdon, lynn-langdon.business.site. And Robin Kinich, kinichforcouncil.com.
For Denver City Council District 1 in far northwest Denver, the candidates are Praj Kulkarni, prajfordistrict1.com. Victoria Aguilera, victoriafordistrict1.com. Sabrina D'Agosta, sabrinafornwdenver.com. David Sabados, sabadosfordenver.com. Mike Soma, somafordenverdistrict1.com. Amanda Sandoval, amandasandoval.com. Scott Allen Dura, scottfordenver.com.
In far southwest Denver's District Number 2, incumbent Kevin Flynn is running unopposed. His website is flynnforcouncil.com.
For City Council District 3 in central west Denver, there are 4 candidates. Jamie Torres, jamietorresforcouncil.com. Veronica Barella, barellafor3.com. Annie Martinez, anniefordenver.com. Raymond Montoya, raymondforcitycouncil.godaddysite.com.
In the far southeast part of Denver, in District 4, voters will choose between 2 candidates, Colleen Zaharodnichek, colleenfordenver.com, and incumbent Kendra Black, kendraforcouncil.org.
For City Council District 5 in east central Denver, voters will choose between Michelle Fry, fryfor5.com. Steve Replin, replinforcouncil.com. Amanda Sawyer, Amanda Sawyer for Denver City COUNC.GoDaddySites.com. And incumbent Mary Beth Sussman, sussmanfordistrict5.com.
In City Council District 6, in southeast Denver, incumbent Paul Cashman is running unopposed. cashmanforcouncil6.com/WordPress2.
In southwest Denver, in District 7, incumbent Jolyn Clark is running unopposed. JolinClark4Denver.com.
Voters in the northeast part of town, in District 8, will choose between 6 candidates. Incumbent Chris Herndon, HerndonForDenver.com, Patrick F. Thibault, PatrickForDenver.com, Miguel Adrian Ceballos Ruiz, MiguelForDenver.com, Lamone Knowles, LamoneForDenver8@gmail.com, Eric Penn, PennForDenver.com, and Blair Taylor, BlairTaylorForDenver.com.
Voters in Northwest Denver's District 9 will make the choice between Jonathan Patrick Woodley, jpwoodley.org, Candy Sidabaka, candyforcouncil.org, incumbent Albus Brooks, albusbrooks.com, and David Aletsky, davealetsky@gmail.com.
In City Council District 10, in central Denver, voters will decide between Chris Hines, chrisfordenver.com, Tony Smith, tonyfordenver.com, incumbent Wayne New, newleeway@gmail.com, and Antonio A. Mendez, mendezfordenver.com.
Finally, in far northeast Denver, in District 11, the choices are Christine M. Alonzo, Christine Alonzo for citycouncil.com, and incumbent Stacy Gilmore, votestacygilmore.com.
You can learn more about the candidates during their forums. Watch on Denver 8 TV or online at denverdecides.org. Just as it has been done in the last few years, ballots will be mailed to active voters. You can mail your ballot back using 70 cents postage, or you can drop it off at a 24-hour ballot drop-off box, or you can deliver it to a voter service and polling center. If you spoil your ballot and need a replacement, or if you prefer to vote on a machine, you may do so at any one of the voter service and polling centers located around the city. Several voter service and polling centers will be open starting Monday, April 29th. The hours for those locations are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, May 4th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hours for Election Day, Tuesday, May 7th, are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Here are the locations for the voter service and polling centers.
Christ Community Church, Denver Elections Division, Main Office, Denver Police District 3, Harvey Park Recreation Center, Hiawatha Davis Jr. Recreation Center, Highland Recreation Center, and Montbello Recreation Center.
There are also extended hours at the Denver Elections Division. It will be open early starting April 22nd. In addition, there is a mobile voting unit named Haul In Votes. This mobile center has all the features of a regular voting center. Haul In Votes will be at 4 locations for the election season starting April 29th. To find out where the mobile center will be, check the Denver Votes website at denvervotes.org. Additionally, there are numerous 24-hour ballot drop-off locations around the city. There are 28 in all. These boxes open April 15th and close on Election Day, May 7th at 7 p.m. They are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can find the drop-off locations at denvervotes.org or in your voter information guide. Also, the voter service and polling centers will have drive-through ballot drop-off. As you can see, there are many options to turn in your ballot. Denver Elections Division expects a heavy turnout at the voter service and polling centers this year, so plan to vote early and skip the wait. If you have questions on the voting process, you can go to denvervotes.org or call 720-913-VOTE. That's 720-913-8683. Additionally, you can visit the Denver Elections Division on Facebook/Denver Elections, or follow them on Twitter /Denver Elections, #Denver Votes. You can also rest assured your ballot is safe and secure with the Denver Elections Division. All Colorado elections are required to undergo a risk-limiting audit to make sure all ballots were properly handled and counted. There was an extensive audit from the 2018 election, and Denver received a perfect score. You can also track your ballot every step of the way with Ballot Trace. It's an award-winning, innovative mail ballot tracking system developed for Denver's mail-in ballots. Sign up on denvervotes.org. Remember, in order for your vote to count, be sure your ballot arrives by 7 p.m. on Election Day. Thanks for watching. And be sure to exercise your right as an American and vote.